Miss Pretty, the Dark Diva, and Diva Queen Cayenne. We are working right now. I thought I'd let you see what I do with salsa. I make my own, and that's what I'm in the process of doing. Now, I use, I'm still cutting them up, I use plum tomatoes. For this one, I use 3 decent-sized plum tomatoes. I quarter them, and then I cut them sometimes into eighths. And, and try not to cut my hand off. Sometimes they're a little, you get down to the smaller heart. I like to cut the heart out of it, the soft spot first, and use that to help give some of the liquid to the salsa, make it a little bit juicy. And then we take the, then I'll take the flesh part of the tomato, and we'll dice that up small, and just kind of like that. Now I'm using a chef's knife. I like to do this early before I've had too much tequila, or in this case I just did a bourbon tasting video a few minutes ago, still finishing my bourbon. I try to do that early in the process so I don't slice my fingers off. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and finish this, and you don't want to sit there and watch me cut the remainder of these plum tomatoes, dice them up. So I'm going to finish that and we'll be back in a second. And hi, we're back. And you're with Miss Bree, the Dark Diva, and Diva Queen Cayenne, because we're making my own salsa today. So I cut up the tomatoes, so you can see right there, those are the plum tomatoes all diced up. And I trimmed, I got rid of all the nasty stuff on the onions. We're doing scallions, or where I grew up, we were green onions. We used to grow them in our garden back in Virginia. And I used to love these. In fact, I would just eat them with salt. My system's a little compromised these days. It's called age, although a lady never tells her age, and that's as close as you're going to get out of me. So, anyway, I also got all the other ingredients, so we can just go ahead and make this, and I'll talk about them as we go. So let's, I'm going to cut up the green onions. I sometimes wish my cutting board had a little bit more of a ridge on one side. They kind of like take off and go every time you start to slice them. Now I just got a bunch at the store. They're a little expensive right now. They're organic, but usually like in the summer last year they were like 99 cents. I paid $1.79 for this bunch today. Although I'm happy that Stop and Shop is back in service now. And they've settled the strike, and I can go back to my favorite store. Which I do most of my shopping at, as a matter of fact. It's convenient, and I know where everything is, and they have most of the things I really like, although I do frequent other grocery stores around for various reasons. It's like everything else. I might have one I trade at predominantly, but I try to spread my business around because there's things I like at other places that one doesn't have. I do the same with my package stores. I have my local Joe's Fine Wine and Spirits, and they've been very nice to me, and they have a lot of stuff. But sometimes with the volume I buy, or just things that I'm looking to buy, you know, it takes a very large store to carry some of these things. They're just not going to find them there. So that's where I go to Total, and they take good care of me there as well. So, kind of depends on what you're after. Alright, so we've cut up the green onion, and now that's in here. So what we're going to do next, we're going to add some of the spices. Well, actually, yeah, it doesn't really matter. And I have certain things I put in, but the proportions are kind of like, depends on how much I'm making and kind of mood I'm in and how much of my drink is left. Okay, let's start with, alright, we're going to start with green chilies, which I just got a new today. I buy these in a jar. Now, you can cut them up, but I can't always guarantee that which peppers will be available in the produce department. This is kind of quicker because I don't have to cut them all up. So, we're just going to add a spoonful or 2. Alright, there's our green chilies. They're ready to go. Now, I'm going to this. And now we're going to do, I had some jalapenos already open. So add just a little bit of jalapeno. I don't want to make it too hot. Sometimes I do. I actually have dried ghost pepper, but I think we might pass on that for today. And I think now I don't want peppers in my garlic, so I've got some minced garlic. Again, it's already minced, and it's really, it's already ready to go. I would like to have garlic in it. Hey, if it's already ready to go, who am I? I prefer when I can. And it's finer diced than I'm going to be able to do it by hand if I cut up a clove. It just never quite works that way. So, alright, there's our peppers. Now I'm going to add a little chili powder. That, I'm going to add a little chipotle chili pepper. Just a little bit. Don't have a lot. Some ground cumin. And you'll learn to do this to taste, you know, if you're making your own. Now I've got some cilantro in here. Alright, we've got cilantro. We've done the cumin. I like a little black pepper. I didn't put any red, we got enough pepper in it, but I like a little black. Alright, gotta have some lime juice. This is real lime. I use this in margaritas and other drinks that call for it. It's just nice. I've got real lemons. We can use more for garnish. Okay, that's good. Alright, now, if you're making this for adults and people who, alright, there are people who alcohol is no good for them. They can't or shouldn't drink it. So you can make this, you can leave this step out, these next two steps. For the rest of the adults where it's not an issue, this is Tanteo Habanero Tequila. So I kind of like kill two birds with one stone. So we're going to put a little bit of that in there. Not a lot. It's for flavor, not to drink. And now I'm going to give this a little fruit. This is Drelot mango liqueur. And we're going to add a little mango. Just a bit more. Okay. Now, we got all of that. So I think we have everything in there. Okay, now what we're going to do. Now sometimes I have been known to add avocado oil, but there's enough juice in this, and I don't. Olive oil, you could, but I'd rather not. Now, so we're going to mix this up just like this. Normally I'll let it sit and age for a bit. Again, it depends on how many people you're making it for. I've made it for parties, and so I have like 3 or 4, and I make different levels. And we have a friend that, or two who like as hot as you can make it, so I put the dried ghost peppers in it, and habanero peppers, and I'll cut those up. Of course, like I said, I have to wear gloves if I'm cutting up the peppers. Those things are like lethal. Okay. And speaking with all the peppers, I'm not about to pick that up with my fingers and forget. Okay. Now, that should be pretty well mixed up. Let's try a bite. Oh yeah. That is good. So that is Diva Queen Cayenne's fresh made salsa. I haven't really named this one. I give them names, but it kind of depends. This is kind of off the cuff. So, might call this my Cinco de Mayo Dragonfire Salsa. It's a little bit spicy. Not too bad. It really isn't. I've got my tortilla chips for later. And so I'll be enjoying this later, but it's quite tasty. Easy to make. Few ingredients, you can buy that. And the thing is that most of the ingredients will keep, so you can use it multiple times. Really, the only things you have to really keep fresh are your onions, your green onions, and your tomatoes. If you have a garden, you've got that ready-made. Plum tomatoes work generally very well for this if you're doing small volume. They're nice size, they don't cost all that much, and they're usually really good. So some tips on that. We're making salsa with Miss Brie, Diva Queen Cayenne, the Dark Diva, and all of that. And we'll be back later. We're making some drinks, so I'm going to have some drink recipes for you in a separate video. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, cheers.